Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. And this video is going to be about narcissists and text messaging, part 10. Narcissists and text messaging, part 10. I have a playlist, and I'm on part 10, episode 10. So I'm pretty consistent with this narcissist and text messaging. So this one is going to be about narcissistic females. So what happens with these situations is with narcissistic females, there will come a time where you will have to ask, tell, or let them know that there's a behavior of theirs that needs to stop. Okay. And to be quite frank, it's no different than a child. And I'm not talking about disputes and conflicts we have with other empathic people. So, like, you could have known somebody since childhood and y'all have a disagreement, or you're just at odds on something and you just don't have the same opinion or perspective of something. That's different. And with other empaths, if I ever have to tell them to stop something or let them know I don't like it, it's because they're naive in a certain area. So it's something that they don't know. So we're at odds or we're having this conflict because they actually are naive. So, for example, there was one issue that I had to tell a sister that I wanted her to stop minimizing threats and domestic violence and potential domestic violence threats upon me. Now, she's empathic. From my perspective, she is not a narcissist. I've been knowing her since I was a teenager. And that's the first time out of decades and decades I've ever had to say anything. But see, the situation with that is the circumstance is, from my perspective, she's very naive when it comes to how serious threats are. And that sister does not believe that anything bad could come out of it. So I only had to tell her to stop a certain behavior because she, in my opinion, she wouldn't intentionally want anybody to be hurt. But she's another empath that's very naive to how it can go down. So I had to just stand up and voice my opinion. However, with narcissistic females, it will be a different dynamic. And this is why. Hello, thanks so much for coming into the live. This is about narcissists and text messaging, part 10. Happy Tuesday to you too as well. So thank you so much for the chat. Thank you so much for the like. So this is narcissists and text messaging, part 10. And in this one, I'm going to be going over the narcissistic females. I just gave an example of how it would go if you had to tell a empathic person something, if you had to let them know to stop a behavior. It's because the empathic person is naive. I used a domestic violence example, a real life experience that I went through with another sister that does have empathy. I've been knowing this sister since she's been a teenager. So, however, with narcissistic females, it will be quite a different dynamic. It's because of this. Narcissistic females, oftentimes, their behavior towards other ladies is on purpose. It's rooted in envy and jealousy. It's a they don't wish you well type of relationship. So let's see. Let me check the chat. Hello to Vox, Trust Me 564. And again, happy Tuesday to D BBB BBB N5MX. Hello to you both, and hello to everybody in the live and in the chat. So with this narcissist and text messaging part 10, going over the narcissistic females, with narcissistic females, the dynamic will usually go like this. You've already went no contact several or many times throughout the years. Okay, there's always this with narcissistic females, there's this on and off relationship. And from my perspective, this comes from I don't have time. Narcissistic females, oftentimes, they got a life where they can just sit on the phone all day and night. They got quite a bit of support that I may not have. A lot of them are surrounded around a lot of people. Um, the narcissistic females that I've been around, they will have a lot of supply. Okay, even through their aging years, they will have usually more support than I will, just to be quite frank. So with me, with narcissistic females, it has to be an on and off relationship because I have things to do and I have more responsibilities that they may not have, and that they have other people to maybe handle certain things that I may not have the same amount of people to handle things for me. A lot of times, narcissistic females will have very, very large families. If they got nieces and nephews, grandkids around, they will just use their nieces and nephews and grandkids like service animals, right? They will just be telling them what to do, get my medications, go fold my clothes. They turn their younger relatives in the family, they turn them into like little free slaves. Okay. And with narcissistic females, they're not normally there's nothing that the children are getting out of it. It's like there's no trade-off. So say they got nieces and nephews and grandkids and little cousins and little neighbors. They're just dictating and having them do things, but there's no quality time that they're usually spending with these children. The children that are helping them will oftentimes act kind of sad. The narcissistic female ain't going to no school event to watch you, to record you. A narcissistic female ain't gonna sit down and play some Uno cards with you. They're not getting ready to read no book to you. They might cook you some food, some of them. Some of them may not even do that. Some narcissistic females may eat up the kids' food, to be quite honest. Some narcissistic females may be quite trifling, just have no regard for the child. They'll eat up all them kids' food. The kids be just as skinny, and the narcissistic female is just blowing up like a whale every week. So this is just how it could go. Normally, the narcissistic females that I'm around, they will feed the kids. Hello to Lester Perez 7402. Enjoy your field trip today. I'm very proud of you. So again, this is Narcissism Text Messaging Part 10, talking about the narcissistic females. And you know, when I put that male in a word for a lady, it's an insult because I prefer not to add that word. But in this case, I'm going to add the female part. So there will be this on and off dynamic that will go on because with narcissistic females, I don't have the time they have, right? So I may want to move to a smaller city and move to a better place. And so there's phone calls and there's new jobs I need to apply for. I'm caring for my family and actually spending quality time with them. So I just usually will not have the time that a narcissistic female will have to be on the phone every day. Okay. Normally with narcissistic females, I will be pretty good with not going around them a lot. Okay. And sometimes I'm not around empathic females a lot because they're busy, y'all, and I'm busy. So what happens is with the no contact, with this particular situation, the Lord told me, come out of no contact, because it was something about this particular narcissistic female that the Lord wanted me to see. Okay. And the thing is, when you just go no contact, you don't really tell them why. You know that their behavior is uncomfortable. A lot of times with narcissistic females, you just know to go no contact because their energy is all about energy. Even talking to them through the phone, the energy is oftentimes just not right. So I just got stuff to do, y'all. I cannot be during business hours. That's why so much homelessness too. Because if you sit up and you talk to a narcissistic female for 3 and 4 hours in business hours, in between business hours, it's something else you could be doing with your time that will benefit you more financially and make you be able to survive in this world. Long conversations with most narcissistic females, long and consistent conversations with narcissistic females. Much of it will be a waste of time, especially if you're not going to upload no video about it. But this is what I found. In this particular situation, I came out of no contact with this narcissistic female, and I took a suggestion that someone told me to mention or tell her what my problem is with her sometimes. And I did that. And she ended up yelling at me. She showed her insecurity. She showed her ignorance. And I just asked her, please lower your voice, stop yelling. And she did. And I had somewhere to go. So that particular day, this was last year, y'all, that particular day, I went ahead and went where I was going. So one of the issues with this particular sister is this. And y'all know I talk about my ex-aware narcissist on this channel sometimes. However, outside of that, I'm in a no contact with him. So what I like to do is when I've been broke up with someone for years and years, it's no need to really keep talking about them, right? And this is why. The aware narcissist that I was with, he's not talking about me. I'm not getting ready to sit on the phone with no narcissistic female and talk about the man for 3 and 4 hours, because the narcissist, the aware narcissist that I was with, my last boyfriend, he ain't talking about me. And it's part of breaking no contact. So when you're in no contact with something or someone, unless you're doing it to upload videos or to teach, if you're not going to use the relationship to teach and encourage people, it's really a waste of time to continue to talk about the man. Okay. So, or the lady you was with, if you was with a narcissistic female. So back in August of last year, and of course, this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 10. Thank you so much for the likes, y'all. Back in August of last year, and I'm going to suggest this, in Narcissist and Text Messaging, in all of my parts, I'm kind of giving you ideas of when to text, how to utilize text, and when not to text. So when you're dealing with a narcissistic female, if it's something she's doing that's not a good behavior, text it to her and just say, going forward, I would like to move on with my life. Talking about my ex brings me some level of anxiety. It's not good for me. It's not healthy. Could we please not talk about him anymore? And this is why I had to do it this way. This narcissistic female wouldn't stop bringing this man up. And it was a red flag to me because I no longer bring him up. And it's normal for someone to do it maybe the first year that y'all are broke up. So the first year that you break up with somebody, if one of your friends say, hey, have you heard from Amy? Or have you heard from James. That's kind of normal, but after the breakup has gone so many years, it's abnormal to continue to bring someone up. It's putting a wedge in their energy of not proceeding forward. So I asked this particular lady, I said, this was last August, 2025. I asked her, if she wouldn't bring them up no more. And she was really polite, y'all. She said, she sent me a text back and said, no problem, I understand. But I think she mentioned in her text that it doesn't bother her to talk about her ex or something. And here goes the narcissism, right? Her lacking empathy. That's just how she roll. Okay, narcissistic females, that's one of their problems. They stay in their past. Okay, a narcissistic female will talk to predators. They will talk to people that have raped kids in their family. And these will be non-blood relatives and adults. So please understand me. Narcissistic females, they will talk to adults that were full-blown adults. And I'm talking about middle-aged to older adults, y'all, not no young adults. Narcissistic females will talk to people 35 years old and up that have raped or violated people in their family. I'm not talking about talking to no teenagers, okay, or forgiving someone that did something real bad when they was a teenager or a youth or under 10 years old. I'm not talking about those situations. It would be like me if my ex-boyfriend, and he was 50 years old, if he did some real bad to one of my children and I continue to talk to that man and he was 50 years old when he hurt my family. Narcissistic females, they will give a lot of leeway and privileges to predators that were real old, y'all, when they victimized their family and their friends. It's real sick to me, right? Like, how can you sit up and talk to somebody that raped or molested somebody in your family, and that bastard or horrible individual was like over 50 years old when they did it? That motherfucker knows better. But a narcissistic female will almost have more empathy for that predator than they do the victim. Okay, so we'll roll different, right? A narcissistic female won't even keep the predator out of their residence. They'll bring them in the residence too. No boundaries. And that's how you'll know that they're narcissistic, or basically a whole narcissist a lot of times, because there's no boundaries. So this particular narcissistic female, she older than me for one. She's older than me for one, so she knows better. It's common sense when somebody stop mentioning their ex. It's common sense not to bring the ex up no more. This is like real common sense, for real. So narcissistic females, they're not utilizing common sense, and she didn't utilize common sense. So back in August 2025, I asked her to stop doing it nicely in the text. She complied. She complied just until a few days ago. Okay, so August 2025, now we in February 2026. So what, that's 6 months. So she was able to comply and do what I asked her to do for 6 months. Now, this is how she snuck it in. She asked about one of my female relatives. Okay. She asked about the female relative. And so then she did this low voice, this sneaky ass low voice. And she said, have you talked to him? You know, I'm going to call him the aware narcissist, right? She talked like this, y'all, real sneaky. She said, have you talked to your aware narcissist? And I said, no, I'm done with that. So I thought about it. So what I did, I text her again. Okay. Now, what I'm doing when I do this, I'm not trying to parent this lady. What I'm actually doing is getting the relationship off my radar with her. So what can happen in these situations, you end up back in a no contact, but this time you're not going in a no contact with the narcissistic female because you going in no contact, you going into no contact naturally because you're pushing the narcissistic female away from you. You're making the narcissistic female not interested no more because with the narcissistic female, they want to be able to do whatever they want to do, especially over the phone. So there's been other friends of hers that have had to say things to her here and there about things that she said. And she's had other narcissistic friends that have actually accused her of things that's not true. You got to remember, narcissistic females, they're going to have narcissistic female friends too. That's going to be lying on them and stuff like that. So a lot of times I've been the one she's been able to confide in and say, that person is not treating you right. Okay. So remember, anyone can be abused or mistreated, even the narcissistic female. So if I see evidence that the narcissistic female is being mistreated, I'll let her know what that person is doing ain't right. Okay. So my point of bringing this up is I won't be the only one that's complaining to a narcissistic female about her behavior. I don't have those type of friendships. Like when I'm friends with ladies, whether they be through the church or through businesses, I just don't have that experience pretty much at all. I mean, someone may have to say, I may walk on the concrete and I don't know that they sprayed something down there. Someone may have to say, oh, by the way, I sprayed something there. Don't walk in that area. I know you didn't know, but just to let you know. Maybe something like that. But when I'm interacting with ladies, it's basically 0 to none that they got to ask me to stop doing something. And that's because my emotional empathy naturally obeys boundaries. So this is something that the narcissistic female, they don't have this filter. Okay. So you may notice that people are oftentimes having to tell them to stop doing things, or maybe in some cases, they may have to tell a narcissistic female that they need to do something. They're either telling them they need to do something or they need to stop doing it. In my case, I'm normally telling the narcissistic female that they need to stop doing something to me or someone else. Okay. That will be my norm, not telling them what to do, if that makes sense. So I sent a text reminding her. I said, you brought up the aware narcissist again. I named him by his name. And I said, just as a reminder, just as a friendly reminder, I mean what I said. I don't want him brought up to me at all. For me, I want to just live like he never existed. It takes so long to even get a narcissist out of your memory. Okay. So what's happening is when a narcissistic female is bringing your ex narcissist up, she's putting him back in your memory bank. Or a narcissistic female could be putting her back in your memory bank. A narcissistic female can do this to a man too. Keep bringing up his ex that he's not with. It's not healthy for the man or the lady. A narcissistic female It just should be common sense that they stop bringing your ex up. It just should be common sense, but they're not using common sense. So what happens is in this situation, she responded okay back in August. However, there was some judgment because she said it doesn't bother her to talk about her ex. But narcissistic females, I said this in another video, narcissistic females and empathic females, we don't live the same. The way a narcissistic female does things, when you get down to the heart of what they do and go underneath the surface, they do things differently than empathic females. It's like oil and water. As an empathic female, I want my ex-aware narcissist to move on too. I want to release him from my spirit world so he can move on too. I have empathy for him as well. The relationship didn't work out. We both tried our best. It did not work out. It just did not. So what happens is with the narcissistic female, there's an energy that can even feel very demonic. So one of the reasons I don't want this narcissistic female bringing up my ex is because every time she bring them up, y'all, guess what? Within 2 to 3 months, the man contacts me again. Even if I have him blocked, I can see his number coming back up with the blue circle with the diagonal line through it showing that he called. Narcissistic females can bring a lot of demonic energy through your phone. They're like conjuring these spirits back up, and it's very unhealthy. When she brings them up, it makes me feel uneasy. And when she brings them up, I'm just doing so good. I'm doing so good. And the only thing I will do here and there is do videos about them. That's it, for educational purposes, right? And that's a healthy venting place and a way to talk about the narcissist. It's through videos, through books, through journaling. That's it. But I've healed enough to where basically the soul tie is kind of broken. Okay. So, or is broken. I feel like it is broken. So the narcissistic female, there's no empathy and there's no care for how I feel. And she's not going to obey my orders. But check this out. This is where it gets real good. So narcissism text messaging part 10. I go over how to react to text, when not to text, and when to say nothing and when to say something. So when you're dealing with a narcissistic female, when you text her something in a nice way to stop, make sure you do it in a very nice and friendly way. So that way, if she shows it to someone, they're not upset with you and you don't appear to be the aggressor, right? So with a narcissistic female, I sent more texts just as a reminder, like, basically, I want this person no longer alive in my mind. I want to move on. I asked you this before. So this is what she does. She shies away. A narcissistic female is not going to keep complying to your orders. It's not in her nature. She's not a respectful lady. Number one, a respectful lady, you wouldn't even have to tell her again. You just tell her one time. This is the truth. There's nothing wrong with the narcissistic female's memory. She remembers last August when I asked her not to bring my ex-aware narcissist up again. No matter her age, no matter how young or old she is, she didn't forget that. She's doing it on purpose, and she did it in a very sneaky way. And she did it by bringing up another one of my relatives first and asking about that relative. And then she, in a low voice, said, "What about your aware narcissist? Have you talked to him?" She did it real sneaky and calm, just like a snake, y'all. Snakes just sneak up, you don't even hear them, and they bite. A narcissistic female is a snake. So she's biting very calmly. She's biting, not doing it through aggression. But I said, I need to say something to her. So she does not respond. And this is why she's not going to respond to me telling her a second time around, because she's going to wait some weeks later and just call and just, she'll hope I just forget about it, right? So she's going to try a different tactic, right? So back in August of 2025, she replied through text. Okay. So now she's asserting her control through withdrawing from it. Because now she's kind of like, she don't know what to do. There's no empathy there for her to apologize. So what I'm trying to do this year and going forward, I've done a very good job my entire life with getting narcissistic females out of my life. The good thing about me, I'm not hanging around a bunch of women every day anyway. Most of the ladies that I may interact with are through businesses, the church environment, a place where there is some empathic ladies. Okay. So with this narcissistic female, she's not an empath, so she's not going to apologize. But what I'm doing is I'm leaving a trail for her, right? I'm leaving enough trail to where if another person wanted to know why I wasn't talking to her, they could pick up her phone and see it, right? They could see, wow, she's told her twice. They can go back through the text and say, wow, she said something to her in August. Now she's saying something to her again. They can also see that she didn't respond. So me, I just would have said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that again. I just wouldn't do it. All you have to do is tell me one time. For one, I'm not going to keep asking about your ex. Why? You broke up with him. The person been out of your life for years. See, I wouldn't be in this situation in the first place because I'm just not going to keep asking about your ex. I'll check in about it a couple of times to see if you're doing better and if you're getting over it and you're okay. Or to just know the status of it. Okay. But I'm not going to keep bringing your ex up. It don't make no sense to keep doing it. It doesn't benefit you. And a major reason I'm not going to bring your ex up, once I hear that you're not bringing him up or her up, once I hear that you're not bringing your ex up, I'm going to forget about your ex. You don't talk about him no more. So he's going to go in my, I forgot who he is, memory bank. But narcissistic females and empathic females, we don't live the same. They stay in their past a lot, crying about stuff that's so old in the past. Narcissistic females, another reason they do this behavior is they do not have enough to do. They are not productive enough. If a narcissistic female just worked on their body and being the correct body weight, okay, just worked on that, just worked on being hydrated, taking care of their skin. If a narcissistic female just worked on that part of her life, She wouldn't have time to be asking about somebody's ex. I'm serious. Narcissistic females, I've seen this my whole life, y'all. They just ain't got enough to do. That's what it boils down to. So, thoughts of who you used to be with and who you with now, that type of stuff is coming to the forefront of their mind because they're so inactive in their life. It's very sad. And because they're so inactive, usually it's not much to do when you hang out with them. You may see these narcissistic females maybe once a year, once every 6 months, if that. Sometimes you can go several years without seeing them because they just are not active. Go to work, come home. They're just not doing enough in life to make them think of something else. Okay, so like I said, in August of last year, she responded to the text. This time I said something to her, she didn't reply. So when you have to tell a narcissistic female a second time as a reminder, do it through the text, not through a phone conversation. Leave it through the text. In this case, you're going to use text messaging as a form of an evidence trail. And it's not because you're going to sue them for harassment or call the police. You just want to leave an evidence trail. That way, when the no contact begins again, it can ultimately become permanent. But this time, they'll know why you're going no contact. It's kind of like giving them some answers. Narcissistic females, a lot of times when you go no contact, they don't know why. They don't have no clue of what they did, y'all. There's no empathy there. There's no love and care for you, for them to know what they're doing. But this time they're going to know. So I did the reminder. I didn't know if she would reply or not reply. But when I did the reminder this time, she did good for 6 months. Narcissistic females are just like narcissistic males. They'll do good for a while, never permanent. Narcissistic males and females, they do not obey, comply, or honor the wishes of other people. They're not loving people like that. They don't think they need to do nothing that you asking them to do. They also, narcissistic females, also, there's no motivation in them to do it on their own as well. They have to be told, just like children. And you'll be like, this person old enough to be my auntie. They old enough to be my mother. They old enough to be my grandmother. You will be wondering what is going on with this lady or these ladies. But this is the experience that so many people have. Again, thank you so much for the likes. So narcissistic females, okay, August 2025, I asked her nicely not to bring up my aware narcissist. Since that time, she continues to bring up her ex. I allow her to do it. She wants to do it, she does it. I'll listen to it a little bit. But my request was that she stop bringing mine up. A narcissistic female, she'll bring her ex up. She's not a lady that moves on to the future. Narcissistic females, they're not moving forward to the future because they actually lack the ability to get the supply that empaths get. Empaths get supply too. So there's not new relatives coming in their life. There's not a new business opportunity coming in a narcissistic female's life. A narcissistic female, she's not going to be starting a YouTube channel. She's not going to be setting up a booth to sell phones or clothes or sell books. Narcissistic females, they just don't have enough to do with their time. Point blank, it's just nothing to do. Not enough. So they stay in this bottom zone, I guess you could call it, kind of like they're at the bottom of the barrel and just stuck down there and not able to crawl out and get out of that barrel and move on down the street to find something else to do. So with this narcissistic female, she was polite back in August, but there was still some judgment in her reply when I asked her not to bring up my ex-aware narcissist. Now, I didn't call him an aware narcissist, but I've also gave her my perspective that he's probably a narcissist, right? So narcissistic females, they're not happy when you get narcissists out of your life. They're not happy about it. So now she's doing it again. 6 months went by. So I sent the reminder through the text. She doesn't comply. So with this channel, where things are going, I'm utilizing the Narcissist and Text Messaging series. Of course, this is part 10, talking about the narcissistic female. I'm using this series to actually better get rid of or improve all relationships through the avenue of text messaging. And I'm doing it on a case-by-case basis. So in this case, I've gave her a second reminder. She doesn't reply. So what I'm going to do is not contact her again. She's not respecting me. She was wrong to bring him up again. I asked her not to bring my aware narcissist up again. So she doesn't want to apologize and be a kind person. I don't need her in my life. So I'm not going to call this lady. Now, I may answer if she calls me, but what I may do is not answer if she calls me as well, because what she should be doing is doing the same thing she did last August. She should reply to my text and say, I'm sorry that happened, because I text her the reminder. Narcissistic females will not be consistent. Last August of 2025, she replied and said she won't do it again. Now she's not replying to what I'm saying. She's not being consistent. She's not being a consistent good lady. She's not being a consistent good friend. She didn't like it when I told her last August through the text or asked her to stop doing it. So these relationships are unhealthy, and there's no empathy. There's no boundaries. They don't truly respect you. So what I will be doing is not contacting this lady. There's no need to. That's how you stop it, through no contact. Every 6 months, this lady might try to fuck with my head and commit psychological warfare and bring my ex-aware narcissist up any fucking way. Narcissistic females are very fucking evil. They're mad about their own health. They're mad that they ain't got no man and no husband because they need one. She's looking at me like, why ain't I bringing up this good man? In a narcissistic female sick ass head, some of these men that we move on from and don't want to mention no more or be bothered with, in the narcissistic female head, she act like you missed out on a valuable motherfucker, and you did not. You didn't miss out on shit. So this is where this narcissist and text messaging, part 10 here, the narcissistic female, this is a great avenue. Going over this narcissist and text messaging playlist is a great avenue that will lead you into better relationships and situations and also lead you into the proper no contact. This narcissistic female, I don't need this in my life. This is where no contact has to come into play at some point, leading into what I call a permanent no contact. She didn't reply because this narcissistic female lady is saying, fuck you, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you say, ho. I'ma bring the nigga up whenever I feel like it. That's what her not replying means. She reading this text to people like, bitch, why are you texting me this shit? She will not have the courage to say that to me. A narcissistic female will be smart enough not to say that to me, but she's saying it behind my back. She broke a promise. Last August of last year, promised me through text in so many words that she would not bring my ex-aware narcissist up again. I mentioned my anxiety to her. I have mild anxiety. She doesn't care about my health as well. So I reminded her, she didn't reply. She's testing me. If this lady wait 2 weeks to call me, or a month or a week, I'm not going to answer her phone because she should reply to that text. The same way she replied last August when I asked her not to do it is the same way she should reply this time. I'm so sick of people disrespecting my wishes and just disrespecting me in general. I'm sick of these fools. And this narcissist and text messaging part 10 that I'm doing right now is also helping me, myself as well, stop this freaking disrespect. It's okay. Give them the second reminder through the text. When she doesn't reply, I'm going to get off her radar. This is where no contact has to come in play. If you are done with your ex and you don't want to discuss him or her in your house anymore, or if you don't want people bringing up somebody you've been broke up with over 8 years, y'all. Sometimes y'all been broke up with these people over decades and decades. 2 years, 5 years, however long it's been that you've been broke up. No narcissistic female has a right to keep bringing the motherfucker up whenever the fuck they feel like it. And it is a valid reason to end the friendship with this person. It is. No matter what they did for you, no matter how many years you've known them, no matter how much money they've loaned you that you've paid back, nothing warrants this behavior. When you tell someone or ask someone to stop bringing someone up, and you tell them, I no longer want to discuss that person, and they continue to do it, that is an excellent reason to end all contact with this disrespectful person, whether they be a lady or a man. However, I'm specifying in this video because this is a narcissistic female. You know I'm fair on this channel. I talk about narcissistic females and narcissistic males. I do videos about both. So in this video, I'm specifying the narcissistic female. You might have a little better luck with the narcissistic male not bringing the person up anymore. When it comes to a relationship you was in, maybe a narcissistic male may comply with that a little more, especially if another man is asking him not to bring up his ex. But to be quite frank, a narcissistic male or a narcissistic female, they're not going to comply to me. They're not going to usually do what I ask permanently. They'll do it for a while. That's it. And that's why this no contact is very important. And in the beginning of the video, I gave you an example of why you may have to, after decades and decades, ask a empathic female to stop a behavior. That's because she's naive. She doesn't know about domestic violence. That's a different situation. She may not know about building clocks or painting. So you may have to say, please don't draw on that side, pretty lady. So you're only telling an empathic female to stop something because it's a misunderstanding, but they're not doing it on purpose usually. But a narcissistic female is very excellent with the psychological warfare. This narcissistic female, she probably can tell I'm different and more bubbly and more happy when she's not bringing this man up. When she brought him up again this time and I texted her to stop it, I had a little anxiety issue yesterday, y'all. It's mild anxiety, but I had a little stressful moment yesterday. It's not good for me. When I bring him up on these videos, it doesn't bother me, but I don't want her reminding me of him. This is the thing. Videos are different. So if I do a video about my aware narcissist, it's a video idea. So this is the thing. When I do a live, like I'm on this live video right now, when I do a live video, I'm not thinking all day about my video. I'll review my video. I'll update my description box, and I'll be putting the playlist for narcissists and text messaging in the description box below. I'll review my video, but I'm not constantly ruminating about my own video for the next 2 days. Even if I mention the aware narcissist, I don't have my videos do not trigger anxiety for me. Actually, doing a video helps my anxiety. It helps, okay? And it helps y'all too. That's why y'all subscribe and view the video. It's helping you as well. You wouldn't come here if I wasn't helping. If my video or this video or any video didn't actually help you get better, you wouldn't come here. People are not subscribing and coming here to be harmed, okay? And y'all know me by now. Y'all know my intention is never to harm you. It's to help. I ain't perfect. I got flaws. Everybody got flaws, but through this work here on this channel, with the Advanced Insight channel, we can all improve together. Please click a like, y'all. Please click a like. It helps the video. So with this narcissistic female, what you don't want to do is when you ask them a friendly reminder through the text and they ignore it, don't contact them. Don't beg them to do it. That's another thing I'm good at too. I don't beg no narcissistic female to do nothing. And I learned that when I was being raised and my mother was not in my life the way she should. And my grandmother was highly neglectful. Good in some areas. My mother and grandmother were both good in certain areas, but both of them had issues. But I learned from a very young age not to beg narcissistic females for a damn thing. I ultimately escaped them both and moved out of town. But I learned that tactic. I was in the same residence with my grandmother, and she was ignoring me. When her restaurant closed, my grandmother ignored me like a pedigree dog. She treated me and my daughter like we wasn't even as valuable as some furniture. Left us upstairs in the apartment of a shut down restaurant. Never one time came to check on me and my 1-year-old. I never asked her, why is she doing it? Why are you doing me like this? Please don't do me like this. I got up out of town and I never returned to my grandmother's residence where she moved, except to visit her. I never returned to live. I never stayed another night at my grandmother's and allowed her to treat me like I'm a piece of furniture. So I learned this from a very young age, and it is a tactic that will free you. Any narcissistic female that you're dealing with, no matter who they are, your parents, your mother, your grandmother, your aunties, big cousins, adopted ladies that have adopted you, no matter who the narcissistic female is, a good friend of yours, a long-term friend, somebody in your church, no matter who the narcissistic female is, I never begged them to honor my wishes. Like this narcissistic female that's once again bringing up my ex, I'm not going to ask her why she doing it. What I gotta do to protect myself at this point is to go in a no contact. And this time I can go in a no contact and it potentially be permanent, because now this narcissistic female is committing psychological warfare, and what she's doing can affect my mind. You got to be careful with your mind. Every time she brings my ex-aware narcissist up, it bothers me, y'all. And it's not because I'm in love with the man. I just want to move on. He's allowing me to move on. After I told him, have a great year or whatever, I told y'all I do videos about him. I even have a playlist called The Lab Experiment and stuff like that. I've done videos, but over time, me staying in a contact with my ex-aware narcissist just to do my videos is harming me. It's a certain point where I got to cut all contact with my ex-aware narcissist. I have enough video ideas about the man. I don't need to continue to be in a contact with my ex-aware narcissist to do videos about him. I do video ideas. So I got over 100 videos that I could do just about my aware narcissist, my ex-aware narcissist. And I call him this because when I told him he was a narcissist, he said, "Goddamn right, I'm a narcissist." He's proud of it, y'all. So I'm not calling him something that he doesn't call himself. He calls himself a narcissist. Again, thank you so much for the chats. Can y'all leave can you click another like, please? I see that there's a few people here. Click a like. Go ahead and click a like. It's just one click away. It helps the video go in the algorithm more. Just clicking one more like can make it where 20 more people view the video. Why wouldn't you want that? Don't you understand I'm taking my time and investing in this video? Why wouldn't you click a like? It doesn't make no sense to be like that. So I see why Ringo TV be going off on his channel. I was watching one of his videos and he was like, "Why are you here if you're not going to click a like? It makes no sense. Click a like." Jesus. So anyway, people are just not supportive enough. They're not supportive enough, but maybe the person here has already clicked the like. So if they've already clicked the like, I apologize. Okay, so I apologize. But anyway, with narcissistic females, don't call them. When they don't reply to your text, when you've asked them something, don't call them. Please don't do that. That's the worst thing you could do. Don't beg them to do it. You just got to understand they're not going to comply. They're going to be in non-compliance. So she's not promising me that she's going to not bring up my ex-aware narcissist anymore. So this is the thing. I got to juggle now. I got to decide if being in contact with her is worth hearing about my ex-aware narcissist. Because now she's going to use it as ammunition to harm me. because now she knows that that can harm me. So because she's a narcissistic female and not a loving female and a kind female, she will do that to me. This narcissistic female expressed to me many years ago that she doesn't believe complete happiness is even possible, y'all. I'm dealing with an individual that doesn't even believe in the idea of happiness. She doesn't believe in the idea of happiness. So, and I see why she doesn't believe in the idea of happiness, because she's not willing to put in the work to create an environment that brings happiness. She's not willing to do that in the way that I am. When you go in no contact with your ex narcissist, whether they be an aware narcissist or an unaware one, you're going to have a more peaceful life. It comes a point when the relationship is totally over. It comes a point when my ex-aware narcissist, I don't want to support his needs. My ex-aware narcissist, I don't want to support when people pass. If he gets sick, I don't want to support the ex-aware narcissist. From my perspective, he was not supportive enough in my life. So I don't want to support the man emotionally, financially, emotionally, financially, physically. I don't want to support my ex-aware narcissist. I pray for everyone, but he's out of my prayers too. I don't specifically pray for this man no more. He's an ex. The prayers I prayed for my ex-aware narcissist, those are going to be the prayers that I prayed. Those are the past. I'm not going to be getting on my knees and praying any prayer for that gentleman. I don't need to. Other people will pray for that man. You're not the only one. The narcissist does not need your prayer. Other people will pray for them. People that raised them prayed for them before they passed away. Like my mother, she prayed for me before she passed away. Whatever I need in my life, my mother has already taken care of that through prayer. So no one's harming me if they don't pray for me right now. They really are not harming me. My mother and many other relatives have already prayed for me. I am not a aware narcissist savior. I can't change an aware narcissist. This narcissistic female, she continues to ask about my ex-aware narcissist, even after I told her the man say he going to hell, y'all. She continues to ask about somebody that say he know he going to hell. And say he don't mind going, y'all. I mean, it's common sense that unless I'm bringing it up on this video to vent entertainment purposes and for educational purposes, it's very healthy and normal to eventually forget this man. When it comes to my one-on-one friendships, like with this narcissistic female. Narcissistic females, they don't make good text message friends. Because this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 10, talking about the narcissistic female. They don't make text message friends. They're not going to be consistent. This narcissistic female, she will say she don't text. She don't do good with texting. She'll tell you, that's too long. I'm not reading that. They're very rude. Narcissistic females, they don't even appreciate your text. So what I am going to be doing, number one, okay, because in summary, I always give you the result And remember, narcissists and text messaging, this is part 10. I've discussed a case by case basis. Everything is a case by case, and it's leading you into no contact and into a better situation that can work out more for your benefit as well. Your benefit. A narcissistic female is not caring about my benefit or your benefit. So what I'm going to do from this video on, I no longer text this lady. This particular narcissistic female will not get another text from me because she's not respecting me in her text. Okay. I'm going to block her right now. Let me block her. So I'm going to block her. And the reason I'm going to do this is so I cannot read any text that she sends me. Okay, so I'm going to block her. I don't have nothing against people, but she doesn't care. She does several things, y'all. She don't care if I get my rest. She don't care if she calls me back to back and wakes me up, disrupts me while I'm working. She cares very little about my physical health, how I'm getting my sleep, if I'm getting in trouble at work. She doesn't respect me. She's not respecting my texts. A real friend, somebody ain't your friend because they gave you a gift card one time or loaned you some money, or you loaned them some money, or they gave you a ride, or you gave them a ride, or that's not what makes them your friend. What makes them truly a friend as well is how they handle your emotional needs. No one has the right to keep abusing you or being cruel to you just because they did a couple of favors for you back in the day. See, this is the thing. I'm covered when it comes to that because with a narcissistic female, I've done favors for her too. So we on an even page with that. Narcissistic females, they will help you and have helped you, but I've helped the narcissistic female as well. And usually what I do for a narcissistic female, I just give it to them. See, narcissistic females, they loan you money. I just give it to you. That's another main difference. So I don't owe a narcissistic female nothing. I don't owe them anything. My debt is cleared with them. And also another thing I do with narcissistic females, you got to do this too. Don't take nothing from them. Stop taking stuff from them. Stop borrowing money from them. You got to start saving your money so you don't need to borrow no money from them. But she's blocked. Okay, so this narcissistic female is blocked. Let me make sure I check it. Now, because of the way these phones work now, she will be able to call, but I won't hear it ring. And with the way I'm feeling right now, I don't see myself calling back right away or calling back at all. As of right now, I'm going to cut all contact with this narcissistic female because I have to stop her from bringing up my ex-aware narcissist. So with this narcissistic female, so this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 10. With this particular narcissistic female, my mind and my anxiety, it's more important than her. She's not good for my mind. She's not. She's not a good role model. She's not a good lady, pretty much. She's not good for my mind. So I did the best I could do with her. You cannot make narcissistic females respectful. You can't. I'm dodging them. Narcissistic females that come back in my life or want to stay in my life, I'm repelling them left and right. Not dealing with them. I get along better with normal ladies and empathic ladies. If a lady's a narcissist or a narcissistic female, I already know that her personality type ain't cut out for me. Okay. Especially when it comes to my personal life. This ain't a coworker that's adjusting their personality because they're at work. Narcissistic females that are in your personal life, it's all around a bad deal. And it's just not beneficial to you at all. It's very not beneficial. So please click a like, please. Do y'all have any questions? I do answer questions for free. So this is Narcissist and Text Messaging. And thank you so much again for the happy Tuesday from DBBBBB. And then, I got another hello here. Please subscribe to y'all and share the video. Oh, okay. It's hello from Vox, Trust Me, 564. Oh, and Lester Perez. Enjoy your field trip today. I love field trips, and I pray that you have a successful field trip. And some field trips, guess what, y'all? You can put it on your resume. Did you know that? Did you know that some field trips can go under volunteer activities on your resume? Just say you took a field trip to ride on a jet and see how the pilot runs the jet or the airplane. You can put that on your resume that you took a field trip to watch that. Pilot activities under volunteer work. You sure can. So so consider certain field trips, even camping trips, stuff like that, certain camping trips and adventures with colleges and in your personal life. You can put anything you want on your resume under volunteer activities or extra adventures, just to show you have life skills in certain areas. You sure can. You can put resumes now or very broad and expanded. So you could almost put anything on your resume you want to, y'all. And you'll be surprised how it will open up certain opportunities for you. So y'all, this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 10. Narcissistic females. And under the description box, I will be including the playlist, y'all. Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 10. Narcissistic females. So with narcissist and text messaging, y'all, text messaging ain't going nowhere. Just having the narcissist and text messaging series, this could go on like for the rest of my life, right? I'll always have a video idea. But the videos are providing good story times, good information. And since we're doing it on a case-by-case basis, you know how to deal with each particular individual. So the narcissistic female, give her a friendly warning through the text. If she doesn't comply, leave her alone. Once your mental health and your anxiety and your emotional health is being affected by anyone, it's time to bounce up out the situation. Comfortably go into no contact. Your emotional needs and your health and your happiness comes above any narcissistic female. They're not worth it. No narcissistic female is worth the constant psychological warfare. That's mostly what they're good at. I would say narcissistic females, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously, on purpose or not on purpose, with a goal to harm or without a goal to harm, whatever way they doing it, They ain't worth it. A narcissistic female is not providing anything in your life that's worth tolerating them. But through this advice and suggestion I'm giving you and telling you this story time, I just blocked her. She's blocked. What that does too, I know I blocked her, so I'm going to stop texting her too. That reminder that I gave her that she did not reply to, the reminder to stop bringing up my ex narcissist, that reminder that I gave her will be my last text to her. No more texting. I don't have time for this lady. Being bothered with her mess takes away from my video time and my activities that I got going. This lady knows I have a YouTube channel and has never asked me the name of my channel. Where do I go to find your channel? She has no interest in my life for anything that I'm doing that's productive. She's just bringing up stuff that's of the past that don't matter. Doesn't matter at all, the past. So, narcissism and text messaging, part 10, y'all. Narcissistic females. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. Check the description box. I always release my lives to the public right away. So I'm going to release this live to the public right away. I'm going to put the playlist. I'm going to add this video to my narcissism and text messaging playlist, and I'm going to add that playlist to the description box below. And just make sure you click on more. Okay, because I always add like the time I did my video in the description box, how many immediate views and likes I got, kind of like for me to help track my videos. I'll put a little fair use thing for the music, or I'll list if I use background music, just to kind of remind me of the materials and tools that I used and utilized within this video. So I got some maintenance stuff going on today. Maintenance stuff going on today. So I'm getting ready to do some cleaning. I'm working on a room in this house, and I'm going to be doing some decorating and getting some new appliances. And I got a pretty nice size space, y'all. Oh, I'm going to be doing a video. Y'all going to love this video. I'm going to be doing a video about Bye Felicia. BYE Felicia, that Urban Dictionary term that's used. That's going to be a fun video. Ice Cube used it in the movie Friday when he said, "Bye Felicia." So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a video about that. So that's going to be a cute one. And I'm going to be going over some facts about Ice Cube, y'all. And it's going to be nothing against him. Nothing against Ice Cube. And I'm just going to be talking about the Bye Felicia and the way it's used by narcissistic males. So I'm going to be doing a video within the next few days about that. So y'all, please like, share, and subscribe. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Remember, we're an advanced team here. You bring insight here as well. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please click a like. Please share the video. Share the video on your Facebook page. Whatever social media platforms you're utilizing, share the video. Okay. And I will be naming the video Narcissism and Text Messaging Part 10. This is about the narcissistic females. I blocked her. Permanent decision. Don't need it in my life. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. Please check the description box. And when time permits, check out my Narcissism and Text Messaging Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6, Part 7, Part 8, Part 9, and of course, this is Part 10. So I put in the work, y'all, with this Narcissism and Text Messaging series. There's some interesting story times, It's an educational format. I'm providing answers, information, how to proceed forward, and I'm doing it all for free. Okay, again, please like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all so much. Thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to upload lives and for bringing me to the next level. I want to always make sure I thank the YouTube platform for allowing me to be a content creator on YouTube, and for YouTube putting me in the algorithm more. They put me in the algorithm more and more. YouTube, they haven't given me a hard time. I'm not always perfect on here. I've gotten like copyright claims. YouTube has really worked with me and helped me a lot. They send me emails, giving me advice, and YouTube, the platform of YouTube, they really support their content creators, no matter how small or large. They support us and create a very easy platform. If you're just someone that, if you're someone that doesn't mind following a few rules, if you're not a rebellious, repeat offender, just rule breaker, and you're doing it on purpose, YouTube knows if you're doing it on purpose now. They can tell that. And I'm not one of those people that breaks rules on purpose. I never break a rule on purpose. Okay. Usually. So YouTube figures that out about you, and they appreciate my work here. And so I appreciate the YouTube platform. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all my viewers. And please share the video, y'all. Thank you. Bye.